Good afternoon, Sweatshoppers. I hope you are having a fantastic Father's Day. I appreciate you joining us for a few minutes to discuss this trade, the appetizer to what we have been told will be one of the most eventful off seasons of all time. If you have not heard, the Orlando Magic have just traded for one Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies. In this trade, the Memphis Grizzlies received Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected firsts, including one from the Phoenix Suns in 2026, and a first-round pick swap. A pretty big trade between two playoff teams in opposite conferences that I think foreshadows some pretty big moves on the horizon. Let's examine this from all angles, starting with the team that I think is the less interesting team in this transaction, the Orlando Magic. Now, Orlando had one issue all last year. Well, really they had two. Their offense was poo, and their two best players each missed nearly half the season with oblique injuries. Now that last issue is really up to luck, can't be addressed with any moves, but that first issue had to be addressed this offseason. The Orlando Magic had to improve their offense. Bottom 10 offense in the league with two of the premier young stars in the NBA is unacceptable. I think a non-negligible portion of this issue is offensive scheme and some holes in the Stars game, specifically Paolo. I think he's a little too much of a ball stopper right now. I think it takes some of the shooters out of their rhythm and makes it a little bit tougher to get an offense gain a lot of momentum. But there are definitely some personnel issues that the front office had to address. Specifically, they just needed more shooters. League average three-point percentage was 36% for 2024-25. The Orlando Magic only had 3 players exceed this mark on the season. They needed more bodies, they needed more shooting, and they needed more offensive creation that could force Paolo and Franz off the ball at times, and I think Desmond achieves just that. Desmond Bane is an elite 3-point shooter, shooting 41% for his career. The last couple years that has dipped a little bit to 39%-ish, but that is mostly because he has had a much larger offensive scoring load and has been taking much more difficult shots. He comes into Orlando, and the minute he steps off the plane, he is their best shooter. He also allows them to have more actions with Paolo and Franz off ball, allowing them to be screeners and rollers, get deep post-ups and seals a little bit more, etc. I'm not saying Desmond Bane is a Jimmy Butler level secondary playmaker. He's just a little more capable than most of the role players on the Magic roster. On top of that, talent acquisition wise, I think the Magic didn't give up that much for him. Although I do think KCP's 3-point percentage this year was an outlier and was already showing signs of improvement towards the end of the year, he was not the 3-and-D guy the Magic gave $22 million to last offseason. And Cole Anthony is a good backup PG, but he's not exactly someone you're going to write home about. Now, trading out KCP for Desmond Bane's T-Rex looking ass will likely make your defense a little worse, but when you're debatably the best defense in the league, you can stand to drop a few spots, especially if it means their offense improves as much as I think it will. Where the Magic really start to lose me though is with the picks. I'm sorry, but 4 unprotected firsts for Desmond Bane is just too much, especially a Phoenix first, a team which could end up being the sorriest team of the next half decade. I am always wary of young teams going all the way in like this because it kind of handicaps you in the near future, especially in today's NBA and CBA, where good players on rookie contracts are more valuable than ever before. I think this move will work out, but giving up this many assets is an inherent risk, and doing all that for Desmond Bane, I just don't know. So talent-wise, I'll give them a B+. I do think the Magic are more talented next year compared to this year. Asset-wise, though, I think I'm going to give them a D. So overall, this trade is about a dead-on C for the Orlando Magic to me. The Memphis Grizzlies are where this conversation starts to get a little interesting. I really have no idea what the Grizzlies are thinking, and I usually mean that in a bad way, but not this time. This is just genuinely, I don't really know how the Grizzlies are going to proceed with this. If they do what I think they're going to do, then this could be the first move in a new era of basketball excellence in Memphis, but I can't really assume that. Because of this, I have 3 different trade grades for the 3 potential paths the Grizzlies could potentially go down. The first is if this is a retooling. If the Grizzlies traded away Bane for Anthony and KCP because they truly felt they were better with these 2 players than with Bane. In that case, I would give this trade a C-. In this scenario, the pick acquisition is valuable, but ultimately that does not make them a lot better to me. KCP is a good starting lineup fit, but his shooting is still questionable, and Cole Anthony is redundant with Scottie Pippen Jr. Not to say they are the same player, but you can't have 3 undersized guards in your regular rotation in the NBA. The second scenario is if this trade is the precursor to a bigger one. If the Grizzlies weren't really trading for KCP and Cole Anthony, rather they were trading for the picks and the contracts, splitting up Desmond Bane's pretty large contract into 2 much more manageable ones and allowing them more trade flexibility for a fringe all-star wing. If this is the case, then then this trade is a B+ for me. A starting lineup of Ja, KCP, a Desmond Bane level player who is 6'8 or 6'9, Triple J and Zach Edey, I think that's a huge improvement over the lineup the year before. And I do think Cole Anthony, Conchar, and Brandon Clark, along with any number of the first round picks that they now have an arsenal of, is enough to get that type of player. The third scenario is if this trade is the beginning of the end for Ja Morant in Memphis. And if that is what this is, then this trade is an A for me. Listen, I love Ja as much as the next guy. I think he is a top 15 talent in the NBA, but he is an undersized, injury-prone guard with character question marks. I do not think that prototype has or will ever lead a team to a championship, and I understand how much Ja Morant means to the city of Memphis. If he got traded away, the Memphis Grizzlies would probably be in a dogfight with the Washington Wizards to see who is the least popular team in the NBA. But if I am thinking in terms of purely basketball, forget championship, I don't see a path to the second round of the playoffs for this roster. So in my opinion, blowing it up, trading away Ja, trading away Triple J, and trading away Desmond is the best move for this team. I think the second seed first round exit was about the ceiling for this group. So in this scenario, getting 4 unprotected firsts, including a first from Phoenix for Desmond Bane, is an elite start to a rebuild. In addition to that, you can probably get another first out of Contavious. Cole Anthony is a good enough player with a good enough contract to be a good trade adder. You could also keep him and let him drop 20 a game on your 25-win team. You could also trade Ja to the Heat or the Rockets. I put 2 trades I like onto the screen. Ryan, the other person that appears on this channel sometimes, threw out a 3-team trade where the Suns get Ja, the Rockets get KD, and the Grizzlies get all the assets, which I like, mainly because I think the Suns owner wants a star for KD. Contracts work, motives work, just got to get the picks right. On top of that, trade Triple J. I think he would be a really good asset on an up-and-coming team like the Blazers or Pistons. Give the Grizzlies some young talent, a few more picks, and I think they are poised to have an all-time rebuild, especially when you take into account they have some of the best scouters and drafters in the league. With that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video all the way through. We greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. We got some more Pacers and Thunder content coming down the pipe, and would greatly appreciate if you were here to join us. Share this video with a friend, and as always, stay sweaty, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.